Yo, 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 what up, what up? Welcome to Riders Live. We have a special guest today, Miss Charity Grover, manager and hustler. The show is about hip hop, urban coaches, and entrepreneurs. As I mentioned before, today we just happen to have all three. Charity, tell the people about yourself and where you're from and what it is exactly that you do.
Well, I am from Lansing, Michigan. Um, I go by Jaded Ice or Charity. It don't really matter wherever I go. Pretty much started in 2015 working with kids in the projects. Instead of fighting and stuff, I took a bunch of them in and started working with them with music, teaching them laws and how to write and how to entertain. And then I ended up with about 56 kids and I built a team, and it was really, really cool. They all got straight A's. They didn't fight. They didn't do anything, and so it was really, really cool. And then shortly after that, I started helping a couple local artists with some stuff, like as far as editing music or getting them connections and getting them in a business sense. Because as you well know, about 98.9% of artists are not on a platform to get paid to do what all they're doing. And so I kind of broke them down and taught all that. And then I throw in the laws and how to do copyrights or record your stuff, because a lot of artists waste all this money and don't know they could be making money while they do it. And so that's what I like doing there. And then, yeah, just kind of build one up. I like mostly working with people that pretty much have it all. Like I can see something in them when I see them. It's not just, a regular, everybody wants to be a rapper thing.
Right. So basically, you do artist development, but you tend to go towards artists that's actually doing it themselves.
No, I tend to go with artists that actually they are not really, besides maybe like on their iPod or something, and downloading off YouTube, music and stuff.
Okay.
When I hear somebody that just has a sound or whatever, I approach them and stuff. And a lot of them do want to be, rappers, and they're really good. There's a lot of them that are really good. The problem that a lot of them have is, one, they're like either 35 to 40, and they've already put out like 9 CDs, and they've already kind of ran all their money down. And, to kind of bring them back, I kind of have to fast forward it. I think the quickest I did that was like 4 days, so
Wow.
it can be done. A lot of it though too, I want somebody that kind of wants it. If you see somebody that just has it and they have fun with it, because you got to have fun doing it. Once you
Right.
start treating it like a job, it shows in your music and your performance. And I look for the people that, if they had any type of connection, just one, what they would do with it
Right.
and who wants it the most. And a lot of them, they're really good and stuff. They don't have CDs out. They just, are doing little stage performances or doing little, on Facebook or something like that. There's a lot of good, really good people and really talented artists that haven't even been able to be heard or anything yet. Like, just met up with Rill, my friend Rill down in Chicago, as you know, and
Okay.
put him on the show, and he's amazing, amazing.
Right. So how many artists do you currently have on your roster right now?
Right now, a couple of the kids, because they're going into producing, but the one artist, basically in Chicago, Rill, has kind of been my main focus there,
Okay.
because I haven't really got out and about too much. Music isn't too much up here. Everything just shut down and it hasn't been coming back. So
Right. It's a good thing everything is starting to open back up because you pretty much a little bit of everywhere. Can you talk about some of the places or venues that you've had your artists to perform at, or what do you have itinerary wise for your artists after you get them?
Um, well, I'm very picky if I choose to take on an artist or I want to work with them. Like, I start from the bottom and I don't just let them go on and do their songs or routine, because if they want to work with me, I request certain things. Like, I want the whole thing. I want it to be a show. I don't want it just to be someone up there rapping. I like entertainment. I like people dancing. I like, all eyes on the performer. And so that's kind of what I like to give a fast-paced learning thing in before I put them on stage, because if they're gonna go on stage and I'm representing them, that's on me. I don't want to represent just somebody that's like everybody else. I want somebody to
Right.
come out and make people have a good time, get them on the floor, like music used to do, and that's a big thing. And they can, but the problem is everybody just wants to be like everybody else. And so I'm not like that. So I create what's already great to put them on a stage. And like what, Chicago with the Bushwick show, which you also were at.
Rest in peace,
um,
Bushwick.
yeah. And then your shows, Milwaukee and Chicago. And
Okay.
then I got to do This Is 50 in New York City twice. The
How
first
did
one I won.
how did that work out? And what artists did you take down there?
I took Nova 227 to New York City. He won. He killed it. Everybody was pretty much in shock.
That's what's up. The New York market is not an easy art market to please. You really
Yeah.
gotta bring it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got that one because I don't know. I just have a one track mind. I don't really know how I find all the stuff I do. I even found how to get a UK Music Award and nomination, and stuff. And I come across This Is
Congratulations.
50. Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you. New York City though, because I've been on This Is 50 on their website when it first, was up. And because how this started is I actually, because my friend builds websites. And the whole reason for this Trap Queen 517 started after I heard Fetty Wap's Trap Queen.
Right.
And I didn't like it. I
I
just didn't see
know.
that image. I don't like people portraying that image. You see documentaries or everything else. I've even been asked to be in a casting call for Detroit, and that type of life. And, I got kind of offended because people don't really know the projects. There's a lot of good there. And
Right.
so I decided I wanted to take Trap Queen 517. My friend designed my whole website and everything. And how it started was nobody could comment on it. Nobody could do anything on it. All I did was pick random artists that I heard that I thought needed to be heard. And I would put their track up there, their picture, and write a bio. And then I'd write, what I like about them and everything. And then I do a featured artist of the week. Other than that, every day I would do a couple underground ones from all over. And that's how I got connected to an artist in Australia. And that's where that started. I worked with David. I helped him all over back and forth through Twitter messaging and emails, redo his whole album when he first got out. And that turned out amazing. He ended up on a talk show, everything. He sent me a whole hard copy back. It was really cool. And he's still doing music. So that's how that started. And then it kind of went from there. Because with Twitter, I'm a very personable person. I want to see people. I'm going to, show I see them. But I'm also a very honest person, which,
Right.
a lot of people say, hey, check this out, blah, 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 tell me what you think. And people won't really say anything. Yeah, good job. Me, I'll respond and be like, hey, I was like, that's a good song. If you would little work on this part or this part, you can fix it up. And after that, I get like 10 people for every one. And, I always say thanks for the ad for that person. And then my list just kept getting longer until I come across a No Limits artist. I worked with him on a few of his tracks through
What
Twitter.
which No Limit artist is this in
I only know him
particular?
by his real name.
Okay. I gag order disclaimer. I
Yeah,
understand.
everything's mostly personal to me. I mean, that's what we do. That's how we keep it. you know, and he's still a good contact that I have today. But I helped him with that. And then probably like a year and a half later, he had come message me, him and his A&R, and they asked me to help give them a push, you know, because he was down to like 3,000 spins or anything else. And they wanted me to help them rebrand him and stuff like that. So I do, because what I do with that, because I guess you can say also brand, because I
Right.
take a person's personality and how they entertain and everything else. And then that's how I come up with, you know, a trademark and, you know, a design that fits them, like on a business card or anything else. You know, I work a lot on that. And so I do that. And then it's kind of easy to brand. A lot of people, as you know, they kind of waste a lot of money doing it. And
Yeah.
I like to make money and not do it, you know. So there's a
Right.
lot of ways. That's the other thing I teach them. I teach them like the side things, you know. You could just start here and like have, when you go to a show, you know, bring like 5 personalized shirts or something. So there's not that many because everybody likes to be unique. Plus, when you're
Right.
selling your name, nobody knows you. You don't know anybody. So why don't you want to give them something that they want, you know, that they personally would buy? And then that's how you get that going to make money.
Especially after they see the dynamite performances. Like
Yes.
one thing that I could say about you, I haven't seen you with any lackluster artists ever. So, do you think the way that you pick artists or choose artists is due to some of your musical influences? And who are some of your musical influences?
Well, way before he even came famous, way before, like in 1996, um, given the state of, you know, kind of life that I was having, Eminem had just started getting out more. And
Right.
I like felt his music because everything that he said like is like everything that I did. And like a couple of his older songs like Rock Bottom and a couple other ones was like real life to me. And so it was nice because the anger and animosity that he threw through the song, it like made me relax because, you know, someone gets to say it instead of holding it in. Well, back then when he come out with, you know, the dolls or, you know, the little beanies, bumper stickers, I just started collecting everything. I didn't see I collected from 97 all the way up until I'd say about 2011 maybe, because
Right.
him being famous and stuff, that doesn't have any personal interest to me. It's more
Right.
of his music, his writing, and then his business style and everything. It's just unbelievable. He thinks a lot like I do. You know, we've even made the same comments on a lot of things, but he's my most personable ever influence because just everything is just that. But when he got up and famous, then you know it's kind of not personal to me no more because what he did in the past and everything, that's what actually got me through life. When I was done with that, then my collection stays, which is huge, and I love his music still, but now it's just, you know, his music or whatever. The other thing is I'm big on classical music, and I'm also big on like mamas and papas, you know, like California Dreamin'. It's just certain sounds that I hear that aren't really sounds. Like it's, you hear the emotion in the background with like every hint of either there's a clarinet or a flute or anything else that just brings that song to life. And that's what I always hear. I hear the music through the lyrics. People usually say you can either have a really good beat and no words and you can make money, or
Right.
you have good, you know, good lyrics and the beat's bad, but people will feel your lyrics. Well, I like both. And people can do that. It's just nobody realizes how much of a difference it actually does, you know, with certain beats or certain instruments or certain accents at different points in their songs or how it goes. It changes one word so dramatically. And, you know, when you get them in the hang of where they can see it, because that's what I do. I don't just tell people what to do. I work hands on hands with them and, you
Right.
know, go through it so they can hear it too. And then they get to start to realize. And then when they start going in the studio and new songs, it's like their music is growing, but it's them. And so it kind of sounds more, you know, original, I guess you could say.
Right. I'm a firm believer. of being hands-on, you know, long as it's not any interference, because two heads are better than one, you know.
Right.
A mind is a terrible thing to waste, and you don't want to waste talent, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
As well as you don't want to waste money, you know,
Right.
because this is a music business. So
Right.
let me ask you this. So if you have an artist that's not so talented and you working with them, how do you convey this message to them?
Whew, I had that. I had gotten a call, I think it was now 2 years ago, from this kid. He was about 24, from the country, you know, no music background, no nothing. And he wanted a meeting with me. So I met him and he wanted to be a rapper. I was like, okay, no music skills, no song skills, no, never been on a microphone, never been on a stage, nothing. I was like, well, he's like, I signed up for a show in 60 days. I said, you do what? You know, I'm like,
Right,
okay. He goes, well, I'm a poet. I'm like, okay, well, it's a challenge. I like challenges, you know, and
right,
his determination is what drew me in. Cause I'm like, all right, it's pretty much an impossible job, but that's what I love the most. Cause then I am on something and I get to create at the same time that person learns. And
right.
it was a challenge because I started reading his poems. And I was like, no, you're not a poem. No. So we had ground zero. And so like it may sound stupid, but how I had to get him into it, because you know you have a one track mind. Everybody thinks you have to, you know, like Mary had a little lamb, you know, every other thing has to rhyme, and it
Right,
doesn't. You tell a
right,
story or whatever, and it's like I tell people, because people always say the difference between a storyteller and a lyricist. Everybody can say what they want. I'm like one of the few people that say, why has it got to be different? Because honestly, you can tell a story and it can be a real story, or it can be like something that you envision your life as or what you see every day, and
right,
nobody is going to know if it's real or if it's not, but someone somewhere is going to relate to that. If you know how to relate to an audience and see everyday life, or you can throw in a personal story. A lot of people are like, well, I don't know, want know people about me. Then mix it up, because you can do both and you just make a great, you know, everybody can relate to something. As far as a lyricist, that's your style, that's your swag, that's everything. You can be a
right.
lyricist, you know. And so I hate when they try to decipher, you know, you're good. Why's it got to be separate?
Like being put in a box. I hate
Yeah,
being put in a box, you know.
right,
Because I don't tend to do what everybody else normally
right.
does. But the thing is, I'm smart enough to know that I have to do what works for me and what the people could resonate with,
Yeah,
you
I
know?
turned down a $3.2 million offer January 2019. Um, it was great. It was like everything I could imagine. And then there was another offer with that for international tech part of it. And everything was great. It was everything I loved. They were willing to add my 10 for 10 idea that I wanted, 10 for 10 best in the US, onto
Right,
the tours there. It'd be on BET, it'd be, you know, everywhere. And I was good with that. And then I started reading, and it's the littlest things. Most people are like, why didn't you take that? I'm like, I can't help it. You know, I am who I am. And there was a part in there that, you know, because if a show has my name on it and I'm doing that show, I'm going to be a part of that. I want it set up how I want to. I want it to go how I want to, because I don't do shows. I do an entertainment night, you know, a very, you know, someone goes and has fun all night, just, you know, just have a good time, like a mix and DJ in the middle, you know, break up the artist a little bit and just be interactive with people, you know, kind of bring everybody in. So nobody really wants to go out, sit outside and then come get a drink, you know. I'm like, no,
right,
you need to get their attention back. Well, they have people that set up venues and shows in any city that people go. You know, it's already set up for them. They just go on and perform. And I wasn't okay with that.
right.
I was like, he says, just sit back, you know, and you can make money. And I'm like, I gotta decline. And he was like, what? And I'm like, that's not me. I mean, I'm not about it for the money. I mean, as you know, I do a lot basically just, hands-on because I love doing it. I really just
Right,
love doing it. And I don't want a lot of people lose more having managers and stuff like that. And, I've been asked to be a manager before, and I have turned it down quite a few times because everybody changes. Okay, I don't change. I am who I am. Now you have people that already got the gift or anything else, but maybe they just want a few pointers or some ideas to roll by, or some personal thoughts, instead of everybody just saying, yeah, your stuff's good and everything, because I'll just lay it down. And for that, I'm not gonna have signed paperwork and everything else, because if I sign something, I don't back down, and until it's 100, and I'm a perfectionist, so that's like a lot of work. And for me to do that, that would have to have an artist that is just serious from head to toe. Like, I have seen two of the most gifted people that I think I've ever seen in my life, period. And one of them, is just starting off, like, getting on his 2 feet again, and, everything, and he kills it. Now, if we could just get him off the, ADD type thing, you know what I'm
right.
saying?
It's a lot. It's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that make it very difficult to deal with artists, and that's why sometimes, and unfortunately, you do have to have paperwork because some people they can't be on time.
Right.
Um, they can't make it to the van. They can't make it on
Yeah, see,
stage.
I can't have that. That's why I stick to what I do. But you see, when I go to a show, that artist is with me. I take them with me. We're getting there. This is how it is. I even stop and give them the makeover, get the clothes for the, whatever, like I feel, goes with his set, like his personality, because it's totally
Right,
different. I come in there, it's not just to get up on stage and do whatever. No, we're going to take you, we're going to put you on here. You're going to be on my terms. We're going to have the pass check, because I won't settle for, somebody that's just, half-assed pretty much.
half-assing it. I beat you to it. How many tattoos do you have?
My answer usually is 4. Because you don't ask a person like how many tattoos you got.
400. Oh
I'm pretty
goodness.
close. I got a few spaces left.
Hey, for the listeners, y'all can't see, but Charity, she rocking a bomb pink half mohawk right here.
Another diamond.
Oh, okay. She
Yeah, that's
rocking
my
a
signature now.
diamond.
Yeah, I get diamonds.
Okay, let me ask you this, Charity. How important is your brand to you? And if somebody tried to um take your brand or something of that nature, like what would you do and how would you feel
Well, I've actually
about it?
said it a few times because of the whole Trap Queen 517, because I've rebranded it. That was my goal. I wanted to rebrand it, and I did. WBO wanted, they were interested in having me go out there to the convention, and they wanted to hear more about this and everything else, heard the song that I did. And I even got the opportunity, Mayweather and De La Hoya, they said they wanted to talk to me about it, and they were interested in possibly, coming out, doing a show with my music friends, and, for what I do. And that right there is amazing on its own, because like I said, I stay in the projects, and not everybody is what it always appears to be. And I think, like you said, they get put in a box. So I
Mm-hmm.
re-imaged it. I gave these kids something, because they're not all like that. Please, thank you, straight A's. All they just want is someone to be like, hey, you see them, you know what I'm saying, and treat them like a person. So my brand is my brand. Now, when I hear all the time, yeah, I'm trapping today or anything else, I'm like, mm-mm. I said I would take all of you while you're in jail to court for
Right.
doing
So
that.
so it's actually a nonprofit, correct?
No, I've never filed for the nonprofit. I do work with charities. I work
Okay.
with like Lansing youth sports teams and stuff, and I become affiliated with them. Like, they made me a Trap Queen 517 iced out jersey, and then I have on one of my shirts, the youth sports logo and stuff. And
Okay.
basically we connect because I help them come up with the ideas and raise money. And so I get to give the kids, in Lansing schools or whatever, I go around and seems how I know most of them. I work with them in groups, like
So it's mostly like a favor for a favor type deal, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's basically to help build up people.
Mm-hmm.
That's my idea of a trap queen. You sit there, you don't work under anybody or anything else. You make sure everybody's safe and they grow up right. You do that right. Just hustle doesn't mean you have to hustle like they say it. A hustle is a hustle. You can get that.
Exactly. Like I tell people so much that, just because you go to school, it don't make you smart. When you're
Right,
intelligent, you're a hustler. You know that none is just gonna come to you. You have to make
right,
a move to bust a move. You know what I
right.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got actually a few degrees in all sorts of stuff. And I've been on my own since 13, and I have straight A's. I'm members of all sorts of stuff. I even got a Trailblazer Award because I volunteer. I go with classrooms all around the U.S. as a guest speaker in their classrooms, and that is really fun. Different ages, and they all sent me a thank you card one time saying, it was inspiring, and they just had the direction more of where they wanted to go in music and do all that, and that's what I love. I don't love what I love what music is, and I want people to understand. Like, I had a girl out in a small country, beautiful singer. Oh my goodness, she's a beautiful singer. She's 16 and she's just all against rap. She's just all against rap. She says, well, they're not storytellers. I like to tell real stories and all this and that. She listens to country. And so I
Mm-hmm.
went ahead and I used my song a lot, for that. That's, and I said, I played it for her. Yep. I played it for her. And she like had a tear in her eye or whatever. I said, that was real. That was my story. That was my song. I said, anything can be real. Just because it's rap doesn't mean it's all about, drugs, money, and everything else. Because with all the gang kids I work with, that was one of my rules. I don't want to hear about sex, drugs, money, nothing. I want to hear
It's,
about you.
that's too easy right there.
Yes. You know how many songs I hear on average at a show that are all about smoking weed, getting drunk, doing this, blah blah blah, and that's it. They got smoke weed on. I mean, I'm over it. It's yeah, okay, you could do that at your house,
Right. So
no
so
creativity.
so if an artist wanted to seek your management services, or if somebody wanted to contact you for consulting, or also motivational speaking, how would they be able to get in touch with you?
I usually have the consultant and stuff like that. I have a phone number. It's also on my Trap Queen 517 page on Facebook. That's a big one on how to get a hold of me on Messenger. Or my number for that particular thing is actually 810-771-8462. Tina. And then Twitter is at cgrover79.
Okay. All right. So what you got coming up?
I've actually been working. You remember Mike, Mr.
Yes.
Already?
Right.
Been working with him a lot. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got like an album working on another one, and we're just keeping it on the low, and it's killer. We're working on bringing back like the style where you could dance and everything, like Yin Yang Twins. I love them. I absolutely adore them. They're hype. They know how to make an audience. So we're bringing back the type of beat, even DJ Assault, stuff like that to blend it up a little bit because nobody dances no more. Clubs nights is just a show night. There's nothing more than that. And I loved having fun. There's people that are younger, all the way from like 5 years old to 60, when I went to Akron and Cleveland, and checking out different venues for people. Um, all of them like the same thing. They still like to dance and stuff, so why not? We
Right.
can do all that. That's all they want.
It's
That's how you
not
get people to come back.
right. It's nothing like a good time, and it's nothing like working with people. Teamwork make the dream work. I always say.
And you get to meet all sorts of cool people. That's what I love. I love meeting a lot of cool people because, and then most of the cool people, just, they never get to be heard. And I love that. You know,
That's true.
a lot of them don't get heard because they
So
think you have to have like $5,000 and this and that to get in. And
nah. So where can people find you on Instagram?
C Grover 33. So what, hashtag C Grover 33.
Oh, okay. So I wanted to ask you this as well. So is it any other artists that you're working with from Chicago or
Yeah,
anywhere else?
Rill. And he's in Chicago now, and he there's a video of him up on my Facebook Trap Queen 517 page as well, and he is social media everywhere, and he is like the whole package. I mean, there is nothing, not one thing that I could even comment on. Nothing at all,
Wow.
at all. I
That's
mean,
saying a lot.
yeah, nothing. I have nothing to say on that one. I just took him in like perfection. I was kind of blown away. I was like, okay, you know. I mean, just the only thing he needs is, you know, that platform, because a lot of people aren't, you know, knowing about the platform to start on or the business aspect, you know, to get your name at least, you know, in BMI, because a lot of people don't even know about that, you know.
How important is BMI and ASCAP and copyrights and sound exchange?
It's
For the
really
people that don't know, I'm just
It's really important because whether you have, you know, you want to do music now or maybe you don't, but maybe you do down the road, you can get that copyright, you can get everything. So it's yours because anybody can hear a song that, you know, you're playing around with, you don't own that. Well, they can take that, you know, just like Sound Exchange. The reason why all them free downloads come off YouTube for people to do, you know, songs to is because their beats are already loaded in Sound Exchange or anything else. Every
right.
time that beat's playing, they're getting paid.
They're getting
So,
paid.
right. And then everybody else doing their, you know, advertising that or whatever, every time that sound is heard, because, you know, shows are recorded, everything, that person's getting paid. Well,
Right.
you can still, you know, you can ask them for rights. There's so many different types of rights, you know, even if you want to use another song, mechanical rights, you know,
Right.
and BMI and all that, you want to get paid to be on stage. All of these guys are performing on
Right.
stage.
For
You want to
free.
get paid for that.
Right.
Right.
How important is licensing for the people who don't know?
Okay. Well, you see, with a lot of people I work with, I went ahead and I teach them the loopholes on that because, you know, when you're starting out, you know, if you got $10, you can just make half of what we were just talking about go. You know what I mean? For
Right.
$10, $15. I mean, and then they're golden. And when they get used to that, you know, because a lot of them, they get registered on BMI and I'll be like, so you've been performing, you know, putting all that in? They said, what do you mean putting it all in? I'm like, oh, I'm like,
Right.
yeah, you got to do that. So licensing and all that, like with Trap Queen 517, okay, or even my clothes or anything else, even the copyrights on that and trademarks, I can run it through, like my diamonds, my iced out diamonds. I ran it through and it passed. No one owns it. It wasn't, you know, anybody else's image. And what you can do is there's difference with using a TM with an underline or, you know, like a C with a circle, you know, you don't have to pay the 600, 700 or anything else to come off and own it. And you can just do this. As far as licensing, now if you've made it enough to where you want to license out your stuff, then I mean you're already doing pretty good. But for the people that just start out, because if someone takes, like, say someone comes up with Trap Queen 517 tomorrow, even though I don't have it officially paid for trademarked, I can still take it to court and I would win because I consistently have the name Trap Queen 517 on stuff. It
Right.
doesn't
It's
matter if I
branded.
constantly, yeah, I branded it. If you use it, if it's on, you know, social media and it's consistent and all that, you technically own it. So you kind of win that. It's not a copyright on paper, but it is. So you can run with that.
Right. So have you gotten any artist material like into film, commercials, jingles?
Um, Yes and no. I had a couple songs that Shady Publisher really wanted. They wanted those songs, and they wanted, you know, to do all this. And they ended up, no, we don't want to do that yet, and I'm like, why wouldn't you? I tried all that. That's why I said there's only so far. That's why I like the consulting or the conversation or working with a
Right.
person, because I can put all my energy into someone, which I did, greatness, and he walked away from a lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of money. And
I already
I
know.
can't handle that because, like, why am I sitting here giving you your dream and I'm working here? Like, I even helped pay his rent so he wouldn't be homeless. I made sure he got to work, everything, because I'm going to go hard if this is what you want. I got you, as
Right.
that goes. And yeah, that didn't end well. So now I'm more cautious. That's why I don't like the management terms because, we may not mesh well. Maybe I can be a consultant or, somebody you can call
Right.
on or anything like that. I don't want to come out and be like, yeah, I'm a manager, because if I can't mesh well with you, there's not going to be a good partnership there because we will come in
No
blockheads or
communication.
none.
Right.
And
You
so
gotta
I
be
don't
able to
want that.
communicate. Right.
Right.
I understand.
And then it turns into a job too. I want to have fun with the person that's having fun because that's how you keep on going instead of having to do this when they're all sitting at home, slacking or anything. And I'm like, you got a radio interview. Get up. What are you doing? Huh? You
Right.
got a radio interview in like 2 minutes, because then that looks bad on me. Why am I doing all this when it looks like it don't matter to you?
Right. A lot of people want it, but they don't know what comes with it. Like
Right.
like even when you on a road, it can be tiresome.
I
Everything.
had I had when I was teaching them how to, get their music loaded in BMI. You want that as your music. So anytime it's on Facebook or anything else, you want to get paid, even YouTube or anything. And I had a guy bring me in about 7 of his songs. He was the one I took to the first Chicago show with Bushwick. Brought me all his songs, and he didn't own none of them. However, he bought full rights from this person that made the beats.
Wow.
And I had a problem with that. Well, just like Nova, he didn't own that beat and he thought he did. So luckily I have a friend, that is in town that, will help me out. And so I flipped that real quick and I went ahead and did a video and I had him walk through it and we're sitting there because I had, bought how the rights are. And so I posted on Facebook, this is how you buy rights. If you do not have it in paper, at all. There's no signatures, no nothing. You don't own that.
You don't own it.
Well, him and another guy end up having the same beat sold to them. And they end up on the same show and perform the same track. Well,
Wow.
different lyrics, but it had the same beat.
What are the chances of that happening?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Right.
People get hustled. That's all it is because people don't know any better. And so that's why hands-on, I walk them through the contract so they understand it, everything, because eventually you're going to have like 5 people on your team. You need an entertainment lawyer, you need a manager, you need a personal manager, you need a social media manager, you need all that. So I like to teach them a little bit about all that, in one, so they don't get screwed. They know what to look for. They know when something's off, because jumping in and going for a deal, you actually would make more money not selling a deal or, signing a deal. You can make way more money.
Yes. 8 cent or 99 cent for a single.
Right. Well, that, and
$8
anytime you screw up,
or
they own your
45
stuff.
cent for an
Right.
album. You
And
know?
then they get to keep your music, if anything else, and they could turn around and give it to another artist and they'll just, take it and go and they still make money and you don't.
Okay, let me ask you this question. A lot of artists are dying, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm not trying to point finger on the violence or them actually dying. You understand what I'm saying? You have a lot of these kids who never had none of this type of money in their life. They probably don't get a decent meal at home, right?
Okay.
And you had this label saying, "Hey, I'm gonna give you $200,000 or whatever," without reading the fine print.
Yep.
I think that these labels are blowing these shorties up, having them maybe the YouTube and the Instagram, Facebook Live, them beefing with another artist at some point or time, it might actually be in a contract. And then when the shit hit the fan, the artist is dead.
Yeah.
They living off of all of their hard work, and they getting insurance money.
Yeah.
You know, it might be a stretch for me saying that the labels are killing these people, but that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, it's been like what the last. I'd say I said something like I know it's been over 2 years now. I don't even listen to the radio like at all because there's like nothing. I mean, like I will say, that there's songs that have come out that man, you would just never think of, like Post Malone and Ozzy Osbourne. I love that song. That was a bold and smart move there. Really bold and smart move.
Post Malone is dope.
Yeah. That's a creative. He sees something more that he can do, and you're playing to more than one demographic then. You're pulling in way more, and that's what you want because music is dying. Like it literally is dying. And that's what even sucks because people can be on Facebook, and they do the YouTube and everything, but the whole thing is they don't even realize with little effort and like $6, they could be getting paid to do all that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Not at all. You know what I'm saying? It's just the little things that they're not doing. And the reason why they're not doing anything else is between, shows like local ones, like, they're just like, pay me, you can get on stage. Pay me, you can get on stage. See, me, no. I have to screen the MP3s, everything else, because, like I said, I'm not like everybody else. If I'm putting on a show, it's going to be entertainment. I want the audience involved. I want it live. I want it jumping. I want everybody to have a good time, good drinks, and it's better for everybody because an artist feeds off an audience. Well,
Right.
audience, if the audience isn't connected because it's just something, and they're standing here, they ain't paying no attention to you.
That is true.
So the point.
So can you tell the listeners where we could get Mike Sales music and your other artists' music?
Okay, well, Mike is not released it yet, but if you have on your site or whatever, and you can share a link when that goes out. But he does have a Twitter I set up. I just don't remember. But we will be posting one of his singles here in about 2 weeks. This off the album. We're picking that one out because he's finishing the second one. And we kind of wanted to pick out 2 singles there to get it flowing because music has kind of been shut down. So we want to get it out there and everything else. Because releasing a full album right now kind of wouldn't be worth it.
Defeat the purpose, yeah.
Right. Just like Supreme the Resurrector, his new single, he sent me that. And I was like, wow. I mean, he totally, I did not expect it. Because, he's more of a soul, performer and everything else. Well, this new track that he just put out, wow, he went in on it. I mean,
okay.
He did. I was like, that's what I said. I said, okay, some of these old school, cats are bringing back and like, it's just like he stomped in there and be like, this is how you do music. Let me check y'all real quick. Because that's what it is. Everybody got lazy, is what it is. Lazy. Everything's just lazy. It's not fun. And no artist sounds any different. They either wear less clothes or they drink more lean. I mean, it's like one of the two.
Right, exactly. That's just like the majority of the women are half naked on Instagram, and then they get offended if somebody approached them in a direct message or something. What you expect? So hey.
Yeah, I turn them in when they do that and they're drunk or whatever, and some will be like, oh, what are you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, you up on stage, taking your shirt half off and a thong. I'm like, you might as well get up on stage and be in background. I kind of sell them what turned into a good time. So I guess it ends up the stage. It's unexpected and more people are actually going to watch because they all turn around and be like, what the heck? But it's still, you're engaging them. I went to a Rager and I put on, I got a slot on that. And I took 3 hip hop artists out there And, that's something that's out of their element, way out of their element. And
Right.
so it was great. Well, I ended up meeting my friend who's a fire breather. He's an amazing fire breather. And so I joined on stage with him and did something. So for me, he decided to join the stage with my hip hop artist. And it was just totally cool. It was, something different and unexpected. And I love doing that to the artists too, because they don't know that something unexpected is coming. I'll throw something up there and, so it catches them on guard, and it gets their personality laughing, because, then they start smiling. And so they start getting time. Because if I see somebody that's kind of like getting the redundant or, not engaging, I see everybody out there, you gotta throw something in that. And it's like I always tell artists, the secret on that is that's when you jump down and you can go up to next somebody, go up to some girl and be like, you said a lot, and she'll be like, what? And then you walk away, smile, and get on stage. And her and all her friends, what do you say?
That's it. So, what do you want to leave with the listeners of Riders Live?
Well, one, you're my favorite person that I've met in the business. I absolutely adore you. Definitely. So
Appreciate that.
you are a gifted businessman for sure. And you know what you're doing, and you are awesome to work with. And so I know you've made really great relationships, because you are so chill, get back, and you are in the music for the music. And you have a good time with the artists afterwards. You do that a lot, and I like that. The other thing is people can learn from different other people, and if they get in there and they're learning something and everything else, we can change the music to come back. You know what I'm saying? Ask
Yes.
more questions, or you gotta reach out. A lot of problem is all they're getting is what they're hearing.
Right. No communication.
None. They don't. And that's what I do. But I'm one person. There's not too many me's around. So I do a lot. Like, I'm all 7 continents now in 38 countries. So
Now you in 38 countries,
38 countries.
plus the 16 countries on my podcast.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yep. And it was just for telling people about their music, being real. Be honest. You don't gotta love everything just to, make it sound good for them. No. These people are serious about their music. Support music, support your underground, support your locals, and support our future, future kids in this. That's it.
That's what's up. Just tell the listeners again how they can get in touch with you.
On Facebook, I have Trap Queen 517. I have Messenger on that, or you can post. And I also have it open to where anybody at all can post their music, their video, or links or anything else. Anybody is free to post on that at any time they want to. At all. They don't need no permissions, nothing. You can just post however you want to. Pictures, tour dates, whatever. You can just do that. The other thing basically is the phone number, 810-771-8462. That one I use if people want to call and set up a Zoom meeting or anything like that. I don't charge for anything when I do that, because I absolutely love the fact that people do that, because that shows that they really want to get into music. And so I love, love, love helping that. And then the other way to get a hold of me pretty much is Twitter. I check in every now and then, but I end up getting like 50 people at a time to go through, and it's all music related. And then I got to do shots. So it like takes me 4 hours to like get through those. So the easiest way to get to me is either Messenger on Trap Queen 517, and like I said, that's open to any artist or whatever. If you got a home video or anything you want to. And that also gets shared with my audience automatically. So that gets shown everywhere. And if you want a boost on that, like a boost in views, all you got to do is contact me, and then we can talk about that and choose your demographic everywhere else. Or if there's another country you're trying to hit or anything, we can do that. So that's kind of an easy access if someone's wanting to get their music heard, because that one I really don't judge. I mean, unless it's horrible. But that's their free thing, and that's like anybody to anybody. You don't have to get my permission on that one. So, but Twitter at cgrover79. Instagram, I'm not really on, to be honest. I haven't been on there. I keep gaining. I got 15 messages yesterday, so I guess I'm gonna have to get on there to check those. But
we got to get you on Instagram, and I'm gonna talk to you after the show.
All right.
Thank you for coming to Riders Live, Trap
Thank you for
Queen.
having me.
All right, you have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Okay.